The story of David and Goliath is one of the most famous and enduring tales of courage, faith, and the triumph of good over evil. It is told in the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 17, in the Bible, and has been interpreted as a powerful metaphor for overcoming great odds. The story is simple yet profound, resonating with people of all ages and cultures. It demonstrates the significance of trusting in one's faith and the belief that no obstacle is too great when one has divine help. At the heart of the story is the battle between David, a young shepherd, and Goliath, a giant warrior who is part of the Philistine army. The Philistines and the Israelites are at war, and Goliath, standing over 9 feet tall, is their greatest warrior. He challenges the Israelites to send out a champion to fight him one-on-one, declaring that the outcome of this duel will determine the fate of both armies. The Philistine army, confident in their giant's abilities, waits for a response from the Israelites. For 40 days, Goliath taunts and challenges them, but no one is brave enough to face him. The Israelites are afraid, and their army remains paralyzed by fear. David, however, is not part of the main Israeli army. He is a young shepherd boy, the youngest of 8 brothers, tasked with looking after his father's sheep. One day, David is sent to the battlefield by his father Jesse to deliver food to his brothers and to check on their well-being. When he arrives, David overhears Goliath's insults and challenges. His heart is moved, and he is filled with a sense of righteous indignation. He cannot understand why no one has risen to defend the honor of Israel and God. David's response is bold and fearless. He speaks with conviction, offering to face Goliath himself. His brothers, angry at his audacity, dismiss him and accuse him of being arrogant. Even King Saul, upon hearing of David's willingness to confront Goliath, doubts his ability, as David is just a boy with no formal training in warfare. But David insists, recounting how, as a shepherd, he had fought off lions and bears that had threatened his flock. David's confidence comes not from his own strength, but from his deep faith in God. He believes that the same God who helped him defeat the wild animals will grant him victory over Goliath. King Saul, reluctantly agreeing to allow David to fight, tries to arm him with his own armor, but David finds it too heavy and cumbersome. Instead, he chooses to face Goliath with only his sling and 5 smooth stones that he picks up from a stream. David's decision to forgo traditional weaponry and rely on his faith is symbolic. He is not depending on worldly tools or armor, but on the strength and power of God. When David approaches Goliath, the giant is initially amused, taunting David for being just a boy and calling him a mere dog that he will quickly destroy. Goliath's words echo the arrogance of the worldly, those who rely on their physical power and dismiss the power of faith. But David's response is filled with determination and faith. He tells Goliath that while Goliath comes to him with a sword and spear, he comes in the name of the Lord, the God of Israel. David declares that it is God who will deliver him from Goliath, and that the entire world will know that there is a God in Israel. David does not fear the giant because he believes that God is on his side. The battle that follows is nothing short of miraculous. David takes one of his stones, places it in his sling, and swings it with precision. The stone strikes Goliath in the forehead, and the giant falls to the ground, dead. David runs over, takes Goliath's own sword, and uses it to decapitate him. The Philistines, seeing the defeat of their champion, flee in fear, and the Israelites are filled with renewed hope and courage. David's victory over Goliath is not just a military triumph. It is a victory for faith, for God's will, and for the belief that no matter how great the adversary, God's strength is greater. The significance of this story extends far beyond the battlefield. It is a profound lesson in faith, courage, and the power of trusting in God. The tale of David and Goliath has been interpreted as a metaphor for overcoming life's challenges, whether they are personal struggles, societal issues, or even global conflicts. The story teaches that even the most insurmountable obstacles can be overcome with the right combination of faith, courage, and perseverance. David's triumph is also a reminder that outward appearances and physical strength do not always determine success. Goliath, with all his size and power, seemed unbeatable. Yet it was David's faith and his unshakable trust in God that led to his victory. This teaches us that true strength comes from within, from the heart and spirit, and that the power of faith can achieve what seems impossible. David's victory also marks the beginning of his rise to prominence in Israel. After his triumph over Goliath, David is brought to King Saul's court, where he earns great respect and admiration. He becomes a warrior, a leader, and eventually the king of Israel. His story is one of humility, faith, and divine favor. Despite his humble beginnings as a shepherd boy, David's trust in God and his commitment to following God's will lead him to greatness. His life, filled with challenges and triumphs, is a testament to the power of faith and the idea that with God, all things are possible. The story of David and Goliath is also a story of leadership. David, though young, displays wisdom and courage beyond his years. His decision to face Goliath and his ability to inspire others with his faith set him apart as a true leader. Leaders are not defined by their physical strength or their status, but by their ability to inspire others and to act with conviction in the face of adversity. In modern times, the David and Goliath story continues to be a symbol of the underdog overcoming seemingly insurmountable odds. It is often used in business, sports, and politics as a metaphor for those who, despite their smaller size or limited resources, succeed by outsmarting and outmaneuvering larger, more powerful opponents. Whether in the story of a small company challenging a corporate giant, a small nation standing up to a world power, or an individual overcoming personal struggles, the message is the same. Faith, determination, and courage can change the course of events. The story also teaches us about the importance of being true to oneself. David did not try to imitate others or conform to expectations. He did not wear the armor of the king or use the weapons of a traditional soldier. He used what he knew best, his sling, and trusted in his God-given abilities. This aspect of the story encourages people to be authentic, to use their own unique talents, and to trust in their own strengths, no matter how unconventional they may seem. Furthermore, the story of David and Goliath serves as a reminder of the importance of staying humble. David's faith in God did not come from arrogance or pride. He knew that it was not his own strength that would bring him victory, but the power of God. His humility and willingness to serve God were key elements in his success. This lesson reminds us that true strength comes from humility and dependence on God, rather than from pride or self-sufficiency. In conclusion, the story of David and Goliath is much more than a battle between a young shepherd and a giant warrior. It is a timeless tale of faith, courage, humility, and the triumph of good over evil. It teaches that with God, no challenge is too great, and that true strength lies not in physical power, but in faith, determination, and trust in God's plan. David's victory is a powerful reminder that no matter how insurmountable the obstacles may seem, faith can move mountains and change the course of history.